How's it going, guys? It's Isaiah here, bringing you ICBA season number 2, week 1. This is our team builder, and this week we're going up against the Rhode Island Rotoms. Same week 1 as last season. Last season we beat him just by a pinch with our Mega Steelix that we had for like 3 weeks, and then we traded away from Majerna. But either way, this is gonna be a good rematch. I think this is gonna be a really good game. We both have pretty balanced teams, and I think certain things on his team are really good against my team. Certain things on my team are really good against his team. So we have to play this really well in order to win. It's going to be difficult because I know Top's a good battler, and it's going to be difficult. So anyway, overall, I think I really like his team. Only thing that I could say that was kind of weird was that this isn't the order that he drafted them in, like the Mons. But the last 3 picks he had was like Rapidash, Gyarados, and Leafeon, and it kind of looked like he picked 8 Mons, and then he realized he didn't have any Fire, Water, Grass. He didn't have any of those, so he just had to put them on there. That's what it looked like. Just because there was last 3, and who picks Rapidash and Leafeon on the same draft? Because I think of like a Fire, Water, Grass core as being something you can depend on. Is week in, week out. You don't have to bring all 3 of them. But they're Mons that you rely on as a good strong core to help each other out. I just don't really see him using Rapidash and Leafeon that much. If you're gonna have a low tier Mon like that, make it like an Ice type or a Ghost type or a Bug type. More weak typings defensively. But Grass is a defensively weak typing, but it pairs well with Water and Fire, obviously. Depending on the Mon, but regardless, he's still got a good team. I just don't really see him using that Fire, Water, Grass core that much. He could, though. I don't know how much he uses Rapidash and Leafeon. Who knows? So anyway, he's got some really big threats like Mienshao and Tapu Koko. Those things are pretty annoying. But Mega Scizor I have some things for. Braviary could be bad if Aegislash gets whittled. But yeah, let's just look at the team. So I have Aegislash here with the Shuckleberry to take a hit from Nidoqueen better. I really think he'll bring Nidoqueen. I think it's a good niche Mon in this matchup. Hits a lot of things. It's really nice for Aegislash, obviously. And I made this one especially offensive one because even though Blissey will wall me, there's very little Blissey can actually do to me. And I was thinking about running like a Subtoxic set for Blissey, but we'll be able to deal. Hopefully, we'll be able to deal with Blissey with the rest or with other Mons on my team. This thing's really just here to be able to stop the Scizor. If he does bring knockoff, that's unfortunate, but it is what it is. This thing's also nice for Latias. It's nice for Tapu Koko. It's decent against Tapu Koko. It's nice for Mienshao. Again, he can run knockoff, and he probably will. But if we can get that King Shield off, and if he's like choiced, and he goes for like a Choice Bandit or Choice Scarf or whatever, going for knockoff, and I go for King Shield, I'll decrease that attack, and then depending on what he has left, I could just stay in. Shadow Sneak is really important for the priority. I know I'm lowering my attack, but it's really just there for that priority. I'm not really using it to get a lot of damage off, because I don't really have Swords Dance here. But yeah, Flash Cannon, I wanted something to hit, just, I guess, Braviary if he brings it. Shadow Ball hits pretty much everything else, honestly, except for, Blissey. But that's a thing with Ghost typing, is that if you don't have a normal type that you're going to use, Blissey is probably going to bring, but, I'm not going to stay in on it anyway. So Shadow Ball pretty much hits his whole team, There's not really any other coverage I need, and Flash Cannon's only there for the Braviary, because I'll probably be staying in on Braviary if he does bring it. Which he could. It does get Superpower, which is nice for Registeel and Tyranitar, which are 2 Mons that would otherwise wall it, so he could bring it, but Aegislash completely stops it because I'm a Ghost type. I don't think it gets knockoff or anything like that, and that's why Flash Cannon is important, because I need to be able to hit that thing in case it wants to set up against me with like a sub bulk up kind of thing. I don't know, or bulk up boost, who knows. Next up is ICBA, our Tentacruel. Honestly, I thought of the Aegislash nickname, and then the rest just had to come to me really quickly. I just had to think of them on the spot, because I had to send my team to Eric, who's my team builder, or my Jenner, hopefully for a long time, but for this league at least, and maybe I think he gen my team for week 1 of the PMC. But yeah, really solid nicknames here. No, not really, but yeah, I just had to think of the stuff on the spot, because I wanted nicknames on them, but I didn't really put much thought into them. So, you know, I don't know why I named it that, but whatever. Physically defensive technical, here to basically stop the scissor. Definitely, again, knockoff's an option, but that's not really going to be doing much to me. If he wants to set up on me, scald burns are always a possibility. Sludge rifle or sludge bomb, just because I want to be able to damage that Tapu Koko if it wants to switch in on me. I don't really need sludge bomb because it's weaker, and I don't really need the toxic because the only two things I'd be toxicking would be Uxie and Latias, and knockoff's pretty much a better situation. Like, I'd rather I run knockoff than like toxic, because knockoff's better against other mons. You know, for example, Nidoqueen. If he switches into Nidoqueen for some reason, you know, and I get the knockoff off, that would be great. In some situations, that would be better than Scald, because Scald doesn't knock off an item, and whereas knockoff obviously does. We can knock off potential Choice Scarf from Mienshao, which would be huge, or Choice Band, which would be huge still. But just, I mean, knockoff just seems like a good option. I feel like if he's in with Scissor and I can predict a switch and go for knockoff, maybe that would be really good. And Scald Burns will really do the trick anyway. I don't really need a toxic, especially with the team I've built. So anyway, that's that. Next up is Registeel, especially defensive with the Chople Berry. Sorry if I'm talking too fast. I'm just you know, trying to get through this. I'd already recorded this, but it was like really early in the morning, and I was really like, you know, you couldn't really hear me very well, and I was kind of not talking very well. But regardless, here we are. I always say regardless too. I say anyway and regardless way too much. But I'm not gonna say it here. We have Registeel here, especially defensive, to take on Tapu Koko mainly. It's also nice for Latias. I can take an Adamant Choice Band and Reckless boosted high jump kick from Mienshao with the Chople Berry, and I can counter back. It's gonna pretty much kill me, but if I'm at full health, I'll be able to take it. And he might predict the switch and go for U-turn, in which he'll do very little, but I'll still get a counter off and do chip damage on something. This thing loses to Blissey. Well, it depends on what his set is. I'll be able to live a few seismic tosses, but I don't have leftovers, so it's going to be hard to live many of those. And Toxic is nice, but he could just switch out and heal it. But if it's like a one-on-one, I'm guessing Registeel would be able to beat it, because I could Toxic and then just keep Iron Heading. And whenever he's soft-boiled, it would eventually die to Toxic. But if he can switch out, then he will with the Blissey to get the natural cure. So yeah, and then we just have Stealth Rocks, because his only defoggers, or his only hazard removal is Scizor, which I don't think he'll bring defog on Scizor. I think it's too much of a SD threat. Defog Latias and defog Braviary, which I don't think he'll bring either. So really the only plausible thing that I think he'll bring would be defog Latias. So if we get rid of that, or I mean this thing can switch in on it and go for Toxic on it. But yeah, if we can eliminate that threat of hazard removal and get the rocks up, that would be really nice. Especially for things like Braviary and Gyarados and Rapidash. So yeah, this thing's just here, really good staple mon. Also, if you bring Superpower on the Scizor, we can take one of those and counter back. So that'd be cool. We can't really hit Scizor with anything else, so we should use it well. We should take advantage of the Chople Berry there. Next up is Alakazam. HP Fire, Calm Mind, Shadow Ball, Psyshock. Now this can outspeed a Latias, I think. And I was really thinking about running like a Calm Mind or Cover set with Magic cards, so that I could just beat Blissey one-on-one. But you know, I mean, I figured that if I run Calm Mind and Recover, I only have 2 other moves, and I want the HP Fire for the Mega Scissor. I want the Focus Sash instead of going like Life Orb or whatever it would be if I had run Calm Mind and Recover, because Focus Sash basically saves me from the Mega Scissor if he gets set up and destroys my team. It's really important. I can live a hit from Mienshao if he's Scarfed. I can live a hit from Tapu Koko and Psyshock back. But yeah, I mean, Calm Mind's still there, because if he has no priority left on his team, I do have a chance. Or if he has no priority and Tapu Koko won't outspeed me for whatever reason, or if it's gone, whatever. In any situation where I outspeed his whole team and his Mega Scissor is gone, and no, you know, if I can outspeed his whole team and get a few Calm Minds up against Blissey and Psyshock it, if it's whittled at all and I can take it out, hopefully, you know, that would be amazing. And then we would be able to go from there. But yeah, Alakazam kind of just here to hopefully be able to, you know, do some damage. It's a really good revenge killer. It's really fast, and hopefully it can put in some work for us. Next up, we have Breloom Hot Wheels. I really need this thing for Blissey because right now I don't have too much for Blissey. So, you know, Breloom's nice. Obviously, it's a fighting type. It's adamant. We can outspeed any Uxie with no speed investment. So that's really useful with the speed. So I knew I wanted Bullet Seed, Drain Punch, and Mach Punch. Drain Punch just helps me get health back in case I get just chipped with something like a Volt Switch from Tapu Koko and my Sash breaks. I can like Drain Punch something that comes in, you know, and just get back up to full to preserve my Focus Sash. Technician obviously to hit Bullet Seeds and Mach Punches that will be doing more. But Spore is really important because if he wants to switch into Latias against this thing, which is probably going to be his main switch-in, since it resists both stabs, whereas Uxie only resists the fighting stab that still gets hit by Bullet Seed, and it most likely will get outsped by this thing since not many Uxies run speed. So I can just Spore it and then Bullet Seed it again. But regardless, I mean, I wanted to run SD over Spore, but I felt like Spore is better because if I want to predict like a switch, if he's in with Blissey and I want to predict a switch into Latias, I can go for the Spore, and then I can, you know, act accordingly. I mean, depending on what kind of set he is, or if he has any damage on him, I might be able to Bullet Seed plus Mach Punch, or Bullet Seed and then Bullet Seed and then Mach Punch, hopefully, to get the kill maybe. But it's gonna be interesting there. And yeah, I mean, Mach Punch just hits so many things very hard, so hopefully this thing can put in the work for us. Last but not least, we have our Talonflame. Fly in EMZ with the enough speed to outspeed I think it's a max speed Mienshao, just in case he doesn't bring Scarf. I think there's a good possibility that he does bring Choice Scarf, but if he doesn't, you know, that's good for us, I guess. But yeah, Talonflame, it's really important for the Blissey again. If my Breloom gets if my Breloom dies when Blissey's alive, I really don't have too much else for it, so I need the Talonflame, unless I mean Psyshock Alakazam, but that's like it. And I mean, I really need the Talonflame to kind of sit there and SD and Roost and Brave Bird and Fliplets. So I could have run Adamant, but I figured I wanted more HP and I didn't really need the Adamant nature. So I just went Jolly and gave myself more bulk so I could live certain hits. First I had the Wakan Berry plus Acrobatics kind of set to take a hit from Tapu Koko, but thing is, even if I was at full health, right, and I take the hit, I'll still be at like only 25% health, and if I go for like a Flare Blitz at that point, the recoil would probably be able to take me out, depending on how much health he had. So it really wasn't worth it. I mean, if I get to +2 and I go for a Z Brave Bird, if he has no HP investment, which he probably will, but if he's like speed creeping Alakazam and he has like just a little bit of HP investment, if I was Adamant, I'd still be able to OHKO him with a Supersonic Sky Strike at +2. If I was Adamant, but since I'm Jolly, I can still kill him if he has no HP investment, but he probably will have just a little bit, because he'll probably be speed creeping Alakazam, and then you'll have like a pinch of HP, maybe like 40 EVs or something like that. And you know, at that point, I can, if he gets Whittle, like for example, if Selfox get up and he's at like 80-ish%, you know, he's switched into rocks a few times. Z Brave Bird, if he switches into it and I go for Swords Dance, Z Brave Bird will definitely be able to pick up the kill, because I can't outspeed it with Flare Blitz, or with just naturally I won't be able to outspeed it. So actually he might be speed creeping the Talonflame, not the Alakazam, because that's more important probably for him, and in which case he probably won't have much HP investment at all. But you know, I mean, that being said, if he gets low enough, I could just go for this Brave Bird, and if I outspeed his entire team, if I know Mienshao isn't Scarfed, and I know like Braviary isn't Scarfed or anything like that, I could just save the Z Brave Bird for like Blissey or something like that, because I don't want to take recoil against Blissey, you know. That thing has a lot of HP, so I'll probably lose like half my health if I do like 70% to it. So that would be bad, right? So I want to be able to save the Supersonic Sky Strike, because I won't take recoil from it. It's just a high-powered move that has no effect, depending, or no matter what move it's based off of, like Z Brave Bird. I won't, you know, take any recoil, so that'll be useful. But we have to get Tapu Koko down first. Yeah, this thing's also really nice for Mega Scissor. Mega Scissor can't do anything to this thing, and yeah, that's pretty much it. As far as things I think I was gonna bring, probably Tapu Koko. I can see that. Mega Scissors it's a possibility. But you know, Mienshao I definitely see, Blissey I definitely see, I don't see Rapidash or Leafeon. He could bring him, maybe, but I just don't see him. Maybe Rapidash, who knows? Because it does get like Wild Charge for Talonflame. That would be nice. And I guess for Tentacruel, but regardless, I mean, this has been too long anyway. I try to make these team builders shorter, but it just doesn't work, even if I talk really fast. But yeah, I mean, Latias is a possibility. I'd see Latias over Uxie. I don't see him bringing both of them. I definitely expect Latias over Uxie because Latias can defog. Mienshau's a probably. Nidoqueen is a probably. So, you know, there's a lot of mons there that he could potentially bring, but just, you know, I'm hoping I prepped for all of them accordingly to what I think he's going to bring. Like, obviously, I'm not going to prep the same for Leafeon and Tapu Koko. I'm going to put more thought into Tapu Koko because I think he's going to bring that. He has a more likely chance to come than Leafeon. So, anyway, that's that. I hope you guys enjoyed. Sorry for my rambling. And look out for the battle. Should be a really fun one. It's going to be... should be a close game, unless I really mess up. But regardless, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time.